A narrow road winds through a quiet village, nestled in a lush valley. Traditional wooden chalets stand amidst vibrant greenery and colorful flowers. Low clouds hang over the towering cliffs and waterfalls of the valley. Rain falls on a cluster of dark wooden houses along a wet road. A white truck is parked near a field with mist-covered mountains behind. A modern glass structure sits in a garden beside a traditional house. A fast-flowing gray river runs through the village under a cloudy sky. Vibrant purple and white flowers bloom in the foreground of a village street. A small wooden shed sits on a grassy hill beside a winding road. Tourists gather to watch a yellow train cross a bridge in the valley. Switzerland is often described as the most beautiful country in the world. Inside a room with blue curtains, a television shows a city skyline. The camera moves through a doorway towards a green lawn and trees. Cows graze on a bright green hillside overlooking a misty lake. A group of brown and white cows stand near a small wooden barn. The calm waters of a lake reflect the dark clouds and green hills. A gray car is parked on a platform next to a white building. A decorative duck sits among bright yellow and red flowers by a house. Raindrops fall on a wooden fence near a garden with orange flowers. Traditional houses with dark wood and white walls sit below a massive cliff. A white car is parked on a wet road overlooking a village. The wet road leads through the village towards the mist-shrouded mountains. A blue car is parked near a wooden house on a rainy day. A large wooden house with green shutters stands under a gray sky. The road curves through the village towards a church with a white spire. A garden filled with orange and purple flowers sits beside a wooden building. A large wooden chalet features balconies overflowing with bright pink flowers. Two people in raincoats walk down a wet road towards the mountains. A person with a pink umbrella walks along a road near a bridge. The view through a stone archway reveals a village street and waterfall. A tall street lamp stands near a green field and wooden houses. The massive rock face of the mountain towers over the small village. A yellow truck drives along a road as mist rolls down the mountains. Pink and red roses climb the wooden walls of an old house. The camera pans across a wooden building, adorned with many red roses. A wooden staircase leads up the side of a traditional Swiss house. A dark wooden house with green shutters sits near a purple tree. Mist swirls around the jagged peaks and waterfalls of the high mountains. A wide view shows the green valley floor and the steep cliffs. A wooden ladder leans against the side of a traditional chalet. The road stretches through the green valley under a heavy gray sky. Chickens roam in a small enclosure near a wooden barn and field. A small wooden hut sits in a large green field with horses. A wooden fence runs along the road with roses in the foreground. Red roses frame a view of the mist-covered mountains in the distance. The camera looks over the rooftops of old wooden houses in the village. A church with a white spire is visible behind the village houses. Construction equipment sits on a hillside near a road and wooden buildings. A close-up shot shows a single red rose wet with raindrops. Red roses bloom in a garden with traditional houses in the background. A tall waterfall cascades down a sheer cliff face behind the village. The wet road passes between old wooden barns on a rainy day. A small wooden shed stands near a path leading into the village. Power lines stretch across the valley in front of the misty mountains. A path runs alongside a railway track through a green field. A traditional house with red shutters sits on a well-kept lawn. A vegetable garden grows in front of a large wooden chalet. The path follows the railway line towards the village and cliffs. Sunflowers bloom in a garden overlooking the valley and mountains. Rain falls on the rooftops of houses nestled in the green valley. The mist hangs low over the village and the surrounding steep cliffs. A wide view shows the dramatic valley with mist between the mountains. Wooden houses are scattered across the green slopes of the valley. A small wooden cabin with flower boxes sits under a dark sky. A yellow bus drives down a wet street past a wooden building. A wooden building with green shutters stands near a church spire. A stone fountain with flowers sits beside a road in the village. A river flows past a church with a tall pointed spire. People walk along a wet road near a wooden house and fence. A path leads towards a white church at the base of a cliff. The church stands prominently against the backdrop of the misty mountains. A tall waterfall falls from the high cliffs behind the village church. The camera approaches the entrance of a white building with stone steps. A waterfall cascades down the rocky cliff face into the valley. The view from a building shows the waterfall and the misty sky. A large arched wooden door is set into a stone wall. A person with a blue umbrella walks past a flower-filled garden. Vibrant purple flowers glisten, framing a traditional timber chalet. Tourists with umbrellas navigate the wet village streets together. Floral displays overflow from every balcony of this grand building. A silver car glides past, reflecting the moody alpine atmosphere. Campervans wait in lots, surrounded by the valley's towering peaks. Lush green hillsides reveal scattered houses amongst the pine trees. Visitors pass a charming terrace, adorned with bright red geraniums. Speed limit signs stand guard along the narrow, damp roads. Yellow signposts point the way to various misty hiking trails. Parked cars line the route beneath a heavy, overcast sky. A white van carefully navigates between the old wooden houses. Thick mist rolls through, partially hiding the massive rock faces. An ornate metal gate opens into a meticulously kept garden. The local cemetery remains peaceful, filled with colorful floral tributes. Walking near the falls, two people find shelter under umbrellas. Water cascades down the cliff, passing a small information hut. The sheer height of the waterfall is truly a spectacle. Clouds swirl around the rock, mixing with the waterfall's spray. A group gathers under a large tree to escape rain. The falls appear as a thin ribbon against dark stone. A lone figure walks toward the outskirts of the village. A black car rounds a curve near a weathered chalet. Dressed in a blue poncho, a traveler braves the rain. Multiple streams emerge from the mist on the cliff face. Rain gear is essential for those exploring the valley today. The road stretches toward mountains, shrouded in low-hanging clouds. A weathered wooden shed sits quietly on the grassy slope. Hikers follow a fenced path, taking in the dramatic views. A solitary green tree stands tall against the misty backdrop. Traditional houses line the valley road as the journey continues. A silver car rests outside a large, multi-windowed Swiss home. Vehicles find shelter under a wooden overhang near a barn. The camera follows the winding path through the lush landscape. Steady rain falls, soaking the quiet streets of the village. Pink roses drip with rainwater beside the damp village road. Puddles reflect the gray sky on the well-worn asphalt path. A small stream flows from the forest into open fields. A grand timber house stands firm in the rainy meadow. Yellow post buses wait at their station in the center. Two historic chalets sit side by side under the misty peaks. The year 1800 is proudly displayed on a wooden facade. A small hut with red shutters dots the green pasture. The village area is a blend of nature and architecture. Raindrops cling to the petals of vibrant, deep red roses. A house with red shutters sits beneath the towering cliffs. The valley road winds deeper into the heart of Switzerland. Small sheds are scattered across the floor of the valley. Mist hangs low over the trees, creating a mystical atmosphere. The quiet road curves through the valley on this damp day. A lonely hut stands against the distant, cloud-covered mountains. Massive cliffs are partially swallowed by the moving white clouds. Lush greenery stretches out as far as the eye sees. A building with a grass-covered roof blends into the hillside. A yellow bus travels through the foggy, rain-soaked alpine landscape. The road leads directly toward the sheer, vertical rock walls. A hillside chalet is beautifully decorated, with many vibrant flowers. Two people in raincoats pass a flower-covered wooden home. Visitors walk past white campervans parked near the village center. Water plunges down the rock, feeding the lush green fields. A viewing gallery is built directly into the cliff face. The waterfall drops vertically, a powerful force of alpine nature. A path through the meadow leads toward the falling water. A heart-shaped stone sits peacefully in a small garden area. Green trees frame the spectacular view of the cascading falls. Vibrant flowers surround the symbolic heart-shaped monument in the garden. A small hut perches on a hill under gray skies. The garden and its stone heart are seen from afar. Small angel statues sit amongst the wet, fallen garden leaves. A wooden building features a decorative cart at its entrance. A garden shed stands near a neatly fenced vegetable patch. A cow grazes near colorful wind spinners in the meadow. The waterfall remains a constant backdrop to the village houses. People gather on the street, enjoying the cool, rainy air. A tiny rooftop cabin features charming, bright red window curtains. Small houses are scattered across the valley's vibrant green slopes. A thin stream falls from a high, tree-covered cliff edge. Traditional houses nestle comfortably among the trees and steep slopes. Scattered across the lush hillsides, small wooden barns stand as silent sentinels. The camera sweeps over the village, dwarfed by the sheer, massive cliffs. Thick mist rolls down the steep slopes, swallowing the peaks above Lauterbrunnen. A traditional chalet catches the eye with its vibrant red flower boxes. A lone tourist in red walks along the fence, admiring the view. From this height, the village appears perfectly nestled on the valley floor. Visitors gather at the wooden railing to capture the valley's dramatic scale. A yellow train crosses the bridge, a bright contrast against the gray. The path winds steeply downward, leading the way back toward the center. The iconic church spire remains a focal point against the misty backdrop. Panning across the rooftops, the white church stands out in the rain. A quiet trail leads through the fields, past weathered timber homes. One large house with red shutters sits prominently beside the wet road. The gray river rushes through the village, fueled by the persistent rain. Its fast-moving waters carry the silt and power of the mountains. Tourists with umbrellas navigate the damp streets alongside the rushing water. Traditional architecture is on full display with dark wood and white panels. Neatly stacked firewood sits outside a chalet, ready for the colder months. A yellow forklift parked nearby indicates ongoing maintenance within the quiet village. Vibrant flower pots add a splash of color to the gray afternoon. Whimsical figurines, made of natural materials, decorate a stone window ledge. A construction crane looms behind a hillside house, showing the town's growth. The road passes through a short stone tunnel, a charming local feature. Red flowers overflow from the balconies of a large, weathered wooden home. The river continues its journey, flowing past houses with bright green shutters. A simple fence borders the road, separating the path from the chalets. In the middle of a vast green field sits a solitary hut. The massive cliff face towers overhead, its peak lost in the clouds. Flower boxes decorate every window of this large, traditional Swiss residence. A well-tended vegetable garden grows in the shadow of the cliffs. Bright orange and yellow flowers bloom despite the heavy, overcast sky. The road stretches further into the valley, toward the mist-covered mountains. Wet streets reflect the traditional wooden houses lining the village paths. A waterfall cascades down the rock face, directly behind the local buildings. International flags and flowers decorate a wooden balcony, welcoming all visitors. A large chalet with green shutters sits proudly on a manicured lawn. Cars are parked neatly below the cliffs, ready for the next journey. Water plunges from the high cliffs, feeding the lush valley below. Green lawns and colorful gardens surround the traditional timber homes. A large house with many windows offers a view of the road. The road winds upward, passing more of the village's charming architecture. Red berries on a garden tree provide a natural pop of color. A stone fountain stands outside a large house with classic green shutters. Old boots repurposed as planters show the locals' creative gardening spirit. A red van is parked near a wooden barn in the field. A white car sits on the wet street near a traditional home. Mist hangs low over the forested slopes, creating a moody atmosphere. Hikers in raincoats brave the steep, rocky path up the cliffside. A person in a yellow raincoat walks steadily down the wet road. Multiple waterfalls emerge from the mist, cascading down the massive rock face. A tall, singular waterfall drops from the very top of the mountain. The powerful white stream stands out sharply against the dark, wet rock. Clouds swirl around the falling water, partially obscuring the dramatic height. A thin ribbon of water falls near a small mountain structure. The high peaks remain hidden, shrouded by the thick, moving mist. The road stretches through the green valley under a heavy gray sky. A red vehicle drives toward the base of a towering waterfall. The river flows through green fields with the waterfall as a backdrop. Water falls from a great height, crashing onto the rocks below. Small wooden houses are nestled safely in the valley below the cliffs. The road winds through the village, with the misty mountains behind. Low clouds continue to hang over the jagged, snow-dusted mountain peaks. Traditional houses line the wet street, their wood darkened by the rain. A close-up reveals red flowers through a window with green shutters. The road leads the way back toward the towering, misty cliffs. A pedestrian crossing sign stands as a quiet marker on the street. The journey continues past wooden barns and open, green pastures. A small stone building with a wooden door sits by the roadside. The road winds through the lush, rain-soaked landscape of the valley. Large gray boulders sit at the edge of the dense forest. A fast-flowing river rushes over rocks through the wooded area. The gray water churns and splashes as it moves powerfully downstream. The river continues its path through the misty and green valley. Thank you for joining this rainy journey through the Swiss Alps. Please like and subscribe to see more beautiful landscapes like this. Stay tuned for more adventures as we explore the world's wonders.